Hey everybody, it's Monster back again with Opus Gaming, and I'm here with my teammate James, who just got top 8 in this past weekend's online regional for the Digimon card game at Gencon. Super interesting. A lot of us were competing, and a lot of us were playing, and the Gencon event was amazing. We ended up running 7 rounds on one of the days, and I believe it was 8 rounds another day. But James, what did you pilot for the Gencon run this weekend?
Yeah. On Saturday, I ran Beelstar.
And how did it do?
Surprisingly, I went X1. I kind of ran it as a joke, expecting to drop in a few rounds, but I somehow kept going and then made it to the end. And it was like I only lost one game, made top 8. It was pretty cool.
No, for sure. A lot of people. So for anybody that's not from Minnesota, or just not obviously not on the Opus Gaming, that is very on brand for James, for a deck for James to choose and play, and then also just for his skill set to shine. So what we can do here is we'll just deep dive into the deck profile. When we get to the end, I'll give a little rundown, some channel updates, and all that good stuff, and we'll talk about the meta at the very end a little bit. But do you want to show that spicy deck list?
Yeah, it's all right. We can start off with the eggs. I run 5 eggs because I run the Gizmons, and you go through all your eggs in this game now. So like the first one is here's the one of it's Agu. It's the on deletion. You trash the top 2.
Okay.
It helps because we're always just trying to accelerate all our options into the trash. So that's a simple one. And then the other ones that we run are the Demimuras, because they're still the best purple egg, and they just do their job of getting you cards and trashing cards that you need to get out of your hand.
Yeah, I totally agree. Debbie definitely the best egg. And I think with the Pagumon, I actually don't think I've ever seen that art before, so that was throwing me off. But yeah, the on deletion mill too. Super, super good effect for sure.
I think this is from the Beelsmon deck, but I don't remember.
Oh, okay, okay, fair.
It could be, but I don't remember how I got it, but it works.
Definitely.
After that, the rookies, we run 4 Impmons. You kind of want to see this all the time. They're great. Mill 3. The whole core of this deck is just swing with rookies and then make Beelstar. It's very simple.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you want to see these rookies, right? And if you don't see these ones, it's fine. You have more. I run a lot of rookies. The next ones are Forged Pheromons. Yeah, another one that you want to see a bunch of, and when you're swinging, it just helps you get more cards, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Other than that, there is 4 Proto Gizmons, and this is like took me a little bit to realize, but in the beginning of the tournament, I was going. If I open certain hands, I would like put rookie in the back going first, and then put a rookie on board. And then I kind of shifted over to, even though I had 2 rookies in hand, if one of them was Proto, I just popped my egg, put Proto on the board, and just kept them at 1 memory for their turn.
Yeah, I like that. I like that play quite a bit. It puts you in a little bit more of an aggressive state because you have a Digimon on board already, and then you can choke your opponent. But then going into your next turn, you get to see a couple more of your options, and then you get to decide what route you want to go through and commit to. So that's sweet.
And then I got 2 more rookies, I believe. It's Psychmon and Gazi. Yeah, these are just floodgates. Psychmon came out once, like I needed it once, and then Gazi was amazing that day. Yeah.
Yeah, talking a
Just
little
based
bit.
on my matchups.
No, for sure. Talking a little bit about just the floodgates in general. One thing I do want to note is I think that the memory blocking floodgates are just going to be far and away a lot better. There's all these metas that we come in and out of where different floodgates come in are very important, but I don't think we're ever going to get floodgates that are better than the memory blockers. They come in, they are effective against like every deck or almost every deck. There's so many decks that gain memory by different effects. So that's awesome to see that you ran both of them.
Yeah. All right. After that, it's my floors. I have 2 promotes. You just trash them, and then you just swing with the nail bone when you bring them back up. One game I digivolved this over my rookie in raising, but that was because I just really needed a draw. But other than that, I realized in this deck you don't really digivolve. Not the way I played it. Other than that, we got the 4 ATs. A lot of times when you swing with your Impmons and you need them to mill and they don't die, this will just do it for you. It'll kill it, reduce its cost.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I don't play Ismon in this deck or scatter mode because I realized too many times with scatter mode and Ismon, especially when you're playing against Shine and you know their top card is it's like Marcus, right? Because they recovered it. You're not dying. Your scatter mode won't die. So like this gets you guaranteed value right away because on play it will draw 2 trash 2. and it'll kill your Tapiromon, it'll kill your Impmon, or kill your level 3, the other 8 Gizmons, and it'll just start the process over and over. So like, I found more value in this than I did in scatter mode.
Wow, I like that
So
a
this was
lot.
really, yeah. And then, did I have other 4s? I think what we did. Yeah, this one. I got the one of a blocker on play mill 2.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice to have a blocker that you can bring up with Nailbone. And yeah, that's it for 4s.
Sweet. Seemed like a pretty consistent 4 lineup. I really like the insight on why you didn't run Ismon. That makes a lot of sense when you break it down, but it's not something I would think of right away when trying to build this deck myself.
Yep. I do have 5s. Normally this deck doesn't, but because you're running the Gizmons, you have 5s now.
Mm-hmm.
Took me a game to realize that the 5 actually plays a 3, but like once you figure that out, it makes way more sense and the engine's way better. But yeah, the 5's good. It's a blocker, it comes out, it can also pop your 4s if you want to reduce costs. Play this for 3. Playing this for 3 is kind of wild.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 9k dude for 3 costs.
It's
and even better is like, oh no, go ahead.
Oh, no. I was just going to make a funny note because it took me over a week of playing Belphemon to realize that that card brings out Proto Gizmon for free. You don't have to put 2 cards back to the bottom. It's just free. So
Yeah. That's what I also screwed up on that a little bit too with this. But even then, like when you pop your 4, you can pop the. This is kind of something I did. I had a point where Beelstar was 0. I only had 1 promote in the trash, and I already nailboned it, and I had another Beelstar ready. So I popped my promote after I swung with it with him for 3. Then I was able to play the same one again, and then swing again with it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it came up. It was cool.
Sweet.
Going from the 5s to the 6s, I run 4 Beelstars. Random order. Yeah, it's Beelstar, right? The deck is Beelstar. You do Beelstar things with her.
Yeah, it's not even called 3 Muskets anymore. It's just called Beelstar.
Yeah, sadly, maybe it will give more support where the other ones are good, but right now it's just her. And then I run the one of her. 2 reasons. One, her effect comes up sometimes and it's funny, but the second reason was I can't find my 4th Nailbone, so just replaced it as a name in a discard fodder.
Mm-hmm.
But I only run 4 Impmons, so like the ability to bring out Impmons isn't actually that bad because by the time you play her, there's no way you don't have an Impmon in trap.
Yeah.
Like you're not playing her super early, and you're only gonna really play her when she's like 5 or 1 cost.
That's
so
totally
it's
fair.
fine. Otherwise, you just discard her anyway.
How many times did you use
And
her
then,
during the tournament?
I used her once, and it was not for her effect, but it was because I played her for 5, and I had 4 memories, so I put them to 1.
Yep.
That was really it.
Yep, gotcha.
After that, I run 2 7s, which is just Rune Mode. Rune Mode is amazing card. This card, if you were playing Shine, I think this is better than Burst, but that's my opinion. This deck shuts down everyone, or not everyone, but like a lot of people, right? You're saying no to Bloomlord, you're saying no to Shine, you're saying like no to any deck that goes wide or has a bunch of weakness. Yeah.
No, I piloted Bloomlord both events this weekend, and every time I saw Shine come out, it was rough. It was very rough. I like Shine a lot. I think it's a crazy card.
And against like people, they're not ready for it to come out, so they don't play around it as well. Like they're keeping a rookie or a level 4 and raising. And you play Beelstar. If you don't pass turn with Beelstar, you go right into it, right? Like you can play Beelstar for cheap, and then you play or Digimon into Rune Mode.
Yeah, no, that's actually fantastic. I like that quite a bit.
Yeah, and then from there we play 1 Tamer. That's just Matt. If you hit him in security, it's super cool, but honestly, he gets milled like 90% of the time, and you kind of don't miss it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially as a 1-of, that's kind of the curse of the 1-ofs in a mill style deck for sure.
But it helps with recursion sometimes. Other than that, more 1-ups. Calling's great. Bring back your Rune Mode that you mill. Bring back Beelstars. Anything you need to keep going, right? The 1-up of the black option, I don't know how to say it, but it's the one that kills everything 7 or lower. I've done it to kill my own board on top of their board, and then like let the Protos go off too, or let the Gizmons go off with this. So that was a fun interaction.
It's pretty cool.
Happy Bullet Shower had situations where this has killed multiple level 6 stacks because they had the same DP. So that's always fun when that happens. What else? Trump Sword's a 1-of, just another extra name, extra kill card, so it was fine. And then we go into 3 nail
We
bones.
knew you had three
I
because
would
you
have
didn't have
4,
four.
but I only have 3. I don't know what happened, but three is fine. Do not play less than 3.
Mhm.
3 does its job.
So
Ideally 4.
let me ask you, since you wanted to play four, do you think that you needed the four, or would the fourth have come up throughout the day?
Probably not, but like it's just more of like I really like having it in trash, so when I have Beelstar, I'm ready to go, right?
Right, consistency.
Yeah, yeah, that's really all it is. That's just me. We go 4 rivals, right? Rivals
Hmm.
is great. Before, Beelstar struggled with level 7s. The only way you were killing 7s before, like when we were dealing with D Reaper and D Reaper's not a 7, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Like Omnimons and stuff like that. Fly Bullet couldn't kill it. This will kill it. Quartzmon, right? This
Hmm.
kills Quartzmon. Like you have an out to those
So
cards.
those level sevens.
So and then, yeah. Plus my deck, you mill enough, so sometimes you'll just see rivals get milled, and then you can add back Beelstar or other pieces that you need.
Hmm.
4 Fly Bullets. Um, Another card that you just want to see in security. Another card that you just want to see trash.
Yeah.
Kill something, right?
No, it's
Yeah,
super
it's great.
consistent too. No, it's a fantastic card for sure.
Yeah, kills. And then 4 Darkness. This card just says pay 1, mill 3
Hmm.
from the top of your deck. So you mill rivals, you mill your pieces, your options that you want to trash, your gizmons, all that stuff. And occasionally, when somehow, if you still have room mode on the field, because like you pass turn and it's back to your turn, they didn't out it. When you play this, you get to add back a purple or yellow Digimon because room mode's on the field.
Definitely.
So that also helps for recursion. But yeah, that's mostly the deck.
Yeah, no, I like Darkness Wave in the deck quite a bit, actually. And that wraps up the deck profile portion of it. We're going to get back into talking about some of the Gen Con meta and just chatting a little bit about this deck in general. But before we get into it, you guys already know we're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. So if you guys aren't sub, drop a sub down below. Once we hit 1,000, we're going to be doing our big giveaway, but we have more details about all that stuff down below. So just drop a sub if you guys aren't sub, leave a like, leave a comment if you guys enjoy this type of content. But getting into it for you, James, looking at what the Gen Con meta was like, what were your matchups like during the day? If you remember some of them, or just kind of like the general ones that you were able to take.
Yeah, I remember a good portion of them. So it was 7 rounds. I went X1. I lost the first round, and I was like ready to, be on par with go X3 drop, right?
Mm-hmm.
But first round was against Bloom. Definitely misplayed game 1. Like I said, I kind of didn't read my Gizmons properly, and I forgot what they did.
Yep.
And then game 2, I just hard break. When you open 5 options, which you will do with this deck sometimes, it just happens, and then you mulligan into 5 different options. Like you can't do anything about it. But yeah, I lost that ult too. Round 2 was against Royal Knights. I 2-0'd them. You just swing with rookies, and that deck is great because like for you to fight because you want your rookies to die. So there's almost no way they're not dying when
Definitely.
they swing into security. Round 3 was against Shine, and it was what I wanted to test the most against. I built this deck kind of to fight Shine, like again with the rune modes and like being aggressive. And I 2-0'd Shine. It played exactly how I expected to play. Game 2 in that one, like he lost his Marcus super early because he swung and then like hit my Gizmon, the level 5 or whatever, and it's on top. I knew it was on there, and like he was prepping, and I set up my board slightly wide, and he didn't want to bring up his Digimon and raising because he knew if he brought it up, he can wipe my board, but then I would just kill his Digimon right after. So he was just setting up a bunch of punching Marcuses, and then I kind of waited till I had enough in trash where I could play Beelstar in rune mode. So when I swung, I gave him a Marcus. I swung, gave him another Marcus somehow because he had more in there. And then he had like 3 punching Marcus ready to go, and then I just rune mode and he couldn't do anything.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, 4th round was against a Greymon variant. I think it was the raid one. Ended up 2-1 on that one. That's an uphill battle. You kind of lose. But when you have crazy securities, it works. One of our matches, he had a level 4 Greymon on the field, and he had the level 6 raid on the field as well. Swung with raid for 3 checks because he has sec +1. He made the Greymon X, and then like he raided into my dude, so he stood back up right with piercing.
Mm-hmm.
Swung 3 checks, hit fly bullet, and then the first fly bullet I said just kill the 4 because I didn't think he'd hit more, and then the second one removed his antibody, and then he swung the third one was like calling or something, and then he swung again, and it was like another or something. So for once, my security actually did something crazy, so it was pretty cool. Was round 5 was against Shine. It was another 2-0. It played out how I expected to play out.
Mm-hmm.
Round 6 was another Greymon, and that one was pretty rough, but ended up winning. One of the games he bricked and like had a hard play to 5, so I was like, okay, that's cool. And then I started swinging my rookies, and then he kind of out of nowhere did the blast Digiball thing into the Greymon. So I completely forgot that existed, but it was kind
Totally.
of
That's
funny.
actually kind of cool.
I had 4 memory. He blocked one of my rookies, and I was like, all right, that's fine. And then I just played Rivals, killed the level 6, right? And it cost me 3 because it gave me back 4 memory, so it was kind of funny.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's the one deck you don't want to have overflow against, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. You just have removal
And
on
then,
command, so.
yeah, and then my final round was Bloomlord again. So I started with Bloomlord, and then I ended on Bloomlord, and I 2-0'd him.
Nice.
And
Nice. We circled back and we got it.
yeah, it felt right. I would have been sad too if I lost to Blue Lord again, but like those are my only losses. But I ended up 2-0ing him. My opponent was really nice, but he did misplay game 1. I had Gazimon on the field, so Gazimon's pretty powerful. He brought up Pagumon, the one that when you suspend him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, so that's what he's gonna do. But then he Digiballed into Sunflow, and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Okay, do that. And then he proceeds to like keep playing other dudes, and then makes Bloomlord passes me to 4. It says gain 4 memory, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, Gazi's on the
Been
field.
there before. Yep.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Gazimon does that for sure, and that's one of the things with Bloomlords. Like, you don't have really efficient ways to get those rookies off the board, so sometimes you get stuck under a Gazimon.
yeah, and that was pretty much my day.
No, for
I
sure.
still don't know how I ended up winning with this. Or not winning, but like doing as well as I did.
I think your
We'll
deck
take
is.
those.
I think it's a really good list, and I think that going into the meta, you had a lot of really. Even though you say you don't know how you won, you had a perfect plan against decks like Shine Greymon, right? That's how you won. Is you just took advantage of what your deck can do, and I think that you did that extremely well. One thing that I do want to know, because this is a deck that's been like floating around kind of between like player to player, and I've been hearing lots of good whispers, I guess I would say, about this deck. Your deck is fantastic into Royal Knights. That's kind of like the big attraction that I've been hearing from people when they're talking about playing Muskets or Beelstar, whatever you want to call it. And you didn't play any Royal Knights in your 7 rounds?
I played 1.
Played one Royal Knights in your 7 rounds. That's kind of like the biggest attraction in my opinion for Muskets or for Beelstar, right? Because every time they put a knight that they want to suck up with Yggdrasil, you have the amount of removal in your deck to get rid of every single one of them. And not only just do that, but swing with a rookie every turn or swing with a Beelstar every turn, right? And you don't get you never run into the problem where like you're swinging with a Beelstar and you want it to live. So you're like, oh, please swing into a 10k or a 7k. You're like, swing with the Beelstar. I hope it goes into the trash so I can play another one. So I think that that's really, really awesome. What do you think for Beelstar into the meta? Where do you think Beelstar can fall? Do you think it can kind of like climb itself up and be a higher tier deck, or do you think it is still kind of like rogue?
It's definitely like a rogue or like a tier 2 deck,
Mm-hmm.
right? Things that hurt it are things that kind of hurt the meta decks too, right? Like people are playing Psychmons for Royal Knights. Well, Psychmon kind of screws this deck up too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Unless you want to hard pop it with one of your options or hope they hit it in security and stuff. But yeah, I realized too after the 1 day of testing at locals with this too, I played against Mirage Gagumon. My variant of the build is really good against them, mainly because my entire hand just gets thrown away or on the board. Like I don't run Ismon, you're not plussing on draws, right? Like with the Gabumon draw 2 trash 1, Ismon draw 3 trash 2, right?
Yeah, I think
It
the
is
only plus one you
literally
have would be the Tapirmon, I think, right?
yes.
Yep.
Tapiramon's the only thing that like can replace itself. But I mean that's like the same thing as if you would have just did evolved, right? Because I usually just throw them on the board anyway. But yeah, my hands were like always under 4. for whatever reason, because I'm just throwing my cards on the field.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
That's
yeah,
interesting.
Mirage Gagumon.
So in theory, it has a really good Mirage Galgamon matchup, has a really good, actually a fantastic Royal Knights matchup. You should be able to take that like every single time unless you just don't see your removal options. But then from your testing and what we were talking about and with your concept of this build, you have a fantastic Shine Greymon matchup too, just because you have that rune mode, right? And you knew when to time it and stuff like that. So that's actually so interesting looking at this deck. And I think that even though it can stay in tier 2 just because there's so many decks in the meta currently, I think the big three still stays with Mirage Galgamon in my opinion, but that's a conversation for another day. But looking at your matchups being so good into those 3 decks specifically, that's crazy, and that's so interesting to see and hear. Wrapping up the deck profile here, I do have one more question for you, and I know we touched on this a little bit during the deck profile when we were going through everything, but if there was anything that you could change or would change kind of coming fresh off the event, if there's anything that like at the end of the tournament you're like, man, this one card needed to be swapped out or whatever, is there anything that you would immediately change about the deck, or do you feel very strong about your current iteration?
I like it as is, but like it would take some more testing to figure out what else would be in here, right? Or can come out. Like maybe I can not promote down the 1, but I always like 2 because sometimes he hides in security and then you just can't use it.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, the deck is, I don't know, find a way to sneak in a Lillithmon somehow to get proof.
No, it's really cool. That's funny too, because I know that sometimes, at the end of an event or whatever, you build a deck yourself, or if you're putting in text and stuff like that, sometimes the texts don't work out, or sometimes there's one card where like everybody said this card was good, I think that I could drop it down 1, right? So sometimes you just have that opinion, but having an X1 run in such a big online event for like Gencon, I could see where you feel very comfortable with where the list felt ended up, and like where you would just need more playtesting to kind of decide a decision like that. But
yeah, the other thing I can maybe think is like you replace promote with Black Automon, the one that rushes as well. It costs, I think, 1 more. The Digivolve. Now that I realize that does not matter. Yeah, I'm replacing it with that one. Okay. It's purple yellow. It'll trigger this to return a card more often.
Oh,
because you can actually see that.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. Super cool.
Yeah.
Hey, we discover things when we're talking, right? That's why we ask these questions, to push the envelope and keep the thought live, right? But yeah, no, that was the last question. So that's gonna be the end of the deck profile. From everybody on Opus Gaming, all of your teammates and everybody in here right now, congratulations, James, getting a top 8 finish, especially with the deck that you're just kind of like, oh, I'm gonna meme with this, right? Is fantastic. Speaks a ton to your skill as a player, and we're just all so proud of you, just bringing it home for Minnesota, representing for all of us so well. So congratulations, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, man, of course. But that's going to wrap up the deck profile, you guys. This is me, Jijimon with Opus Gaming. We're out. Take care.